Sophia brushed a wisp of hair away from her face as she stood in front of the glistening glass entrance of Maxwell Motors. The sun reflected off the showroom windows, making it difficult to see inside. But she already knew what awaited her. Sleek cars, polished floors, and stairs. She took a deep breath, clutching the straps of her faded handbag. Her long beige cardigan, though neat, had grown threadbare at the elbows, and her shoes, once white, were now a pale gray from years of wear. She wasn't there to buy anything, at least not today. She came because she'd promised herself she would stop merely dreaming and start stepping into the places her heart longed to belong, even if her bank account disagreed. Inside, the cool air was scented with new leather and waxed metal. Rows of high-end luxury vehicles stood like silent titans, shimmering under designer lights. Sophia wandered slowly, her eyes wide with admiration. A deep crimson Bentley caught her eye, its smooth curves and leather interior like something out of a movie. She stepped closer, hesitant to touch. Her reflection stared back from the glistening hood. Tired eyes, hopeful smile. "Can I help you, ma'am?" came a voice overly polite. She turned to find a man in a tailored navy suit, his name tag reading Kyle, senior sales consultant. His tone carried an unmistakable note of skepticism. Sophia smiled nervously. "I was just looking," she said. "The cars are beautiful." Kyle glanced at her cardigan, the scuffed shoes, the lack of designer logos, and gave a tight, forced smile. "They are," he said curtly, "but most of our clients prefer to browse by appointment. Our showroom isn't open for casual visitors." Sophia blinked, taken aback. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see a sign about that." Kyle folded his arms. "It's more of an unspoken rule. We value serious inquiries. Time is a resource after all." He gestured toward the exit subtly. "If you'd like, I can give you a brochure." A few other staff members noticed the exchange and drifted closer, pretending to check their tablets. One woman smirked. "Looks like someone took a wrong turn at the mall," she whispered under her breath, loud enough for Sophia to hear. Heat rose to her cheeks, but she stood straighter. "I'm sorry if I caused a disturbance," she said, trying to keep her voice even. I've always wanted to see a Bentley up close." Kyle gave a patronizing laugh. "Of course, dreams are important. But some dreams are best admired from a distance." He offered a brochure anyway, as if doing charity. Sophia took the pamphlet, but her hands trembled. Every second in that room made her feel smaller, as though she were a child trespassing in an adult's world. She gave one last glance at the Bentley, her heart heavy, and turned to leave. As she walked out, she could hear one of the employees say, "Let's just hope she doesn't try to sit in anything next time." Laughter followed. Outside, the sunlight now felt harsher, the sky too bright, the world a little colder. She crossed the street quickly, trying to hold back tears. She walked 2 blocks before sitting at a small park bench tucked beside a flower stall. The vendor, an old woman named Rita, recognized her and waved. Sophia managed a weak smile. She looked down at the glossy brochure. The pictures seemed to mock her now, smiling couples in designer clothes beside expensive cars, sipping champagne, perfectly styled. She folded it and slipped it into her bag. She knew she had no business. Feeling this crushed, she had just been window shopping. Still, something about the way they looked at her, like she didn't belong in that space, struck a painful chord deep inside. Sophia wasn't poor. She and Adam lived comfortably in a small but warm apartment. He had always insisted they could afford better, but she had declined. "I don't need luxury," she often said. "I just need love and a good roof." Adam admired that about her. She wasn't easily impressed by status or money, but she hadn't told him about today's plan. He was out of town on business, and she didn't want to bother him with something so trivial. She knew he was busy dealing with his newest acquisition, some high-profile merger in the automotive industry. The irony didn't escape her. Her husband worked in luxury vehicles, yet she couldn't even stand in a showroom without being judged. Adam had always been private about his wealth, preferring to let people know him for who he was, not what he had. And Sophia had never asked questions. She loved him for the simple man he was to her. Kind, thoughtful, the one who brought her breakfast in bed every Sunday. Still, there were days she wondered just how deep his business roots ran. He owned a few dealerships, she knew that, but she'd never asked which ones. That night back home, she stirred soup on the stove and tried to focus on the scent of basil. Instead of the lingering embarrassment, she kept replaying the incident in her head, the smugness in Kyle's voice, the laughter. Her phone buzzed. A message from Adam lit up the screen. Landed safely. Miss you already. How was your day? She stared at the message for a moment before typing back. It was fine. Just ran errands. Went to a car showroom for fun. Didn't go well, haha. Almost immediately he replied, What do you mean? Which showroom? She hesitated, then typed, Maxwell Motors. Just wanted to see a Bentley. Guess I didn't look the part. There was a long pause, then a simple response. What happened? Sophia thought for a moment, then told him the truth, briefly. The stares, the tone, the mockery. She ended with, It's okay though. I know I probably looked out of place, I shouldn't have gone in. Adam's next message surprised her. You had every right to be there. I'm calling you in 10. True to his word, the phone rang. She answered, and his voice was calm, but beneath the calm was something steel-like. Soph, you never ever have to feel ashamed of who you are or where you go. You belong anywhere you step into. Don't let small-minded people make you feel otherwise. She blinked back tears. I know. I just didn't expect it to sting. So much. He was silent for a second. Don't worry, I'll handle it. Sophia frowned. Adam, don't make a scene. It's not worth it. I'm fine now. But he didn't argue. He only said, Get some rest. I'll be home tomorrow. When they hung up, she stared at the ceiling and tried to sleep, but her mind buzzed. She trusted Adam, always had. But there was something in his tone that told her he wasn't just going to let this go. Meanwhile, hundreds of miles away, Adam closed his laptop and stared out the hotel window. His thoughts swirled with fury. Sophia had always treated people with kindness. The idea that someone had humiliated her simply because she didn't fit a visual mold angered him deeply. But more than that, it reminded him of why he had started his company anonymously, because the world judged worth by appearance far too often. He picked up his phone and made a call. Get me the security footage from Maxwell Motors for today, and tell legal to prepare a review of their HR and client. Engagement policy, we have work to do. Back in her apartment, Sophia finally drifted into sleep, unaware of the storm that was quietly forming behind the scenes. All she knew was that tomorrow was another day, and she would meet it as she always did, with quiet grace and dignity. What she didn't know was that tomorrow, she wouldn't be walking alone. She wouldn't even be walking. She'd be arriving, in a way no one, not even she, could have imagined. Sophia woke up the next morning with the memory of the dealership still haunting her. She got out of bed slowly, trying to shake off the feeling of shame that had crept into her bones the previous day. After making a simple breakfast of toast and eggs, she sat by the window sipping tea, lost in thought. Though Adam had reassured her over the phone, she still felt like she didn't belong in the world of polished floors and shining Bentleys. It wasn't just about the way they treated her, it was about what it brought up inside her. A sense of not being good enough, of never being quite worthy. Her phone buzzed again, a message from Adam. Landing at 11 a.m., be ready, I'm coming straight from the airport. Her brow furrowed. Be ready? What did that mean? She wrote back, Where? Are we going? But got no response. By 10:30, she had taken a shower and dressed in a soft blue dress. It wasn't designer or expensive, but it brought out the color in her eyes, and Adam always said he loved her in it. She brushed her hair and added a touch of lip balm, then waited. A little after 11, she heard the rumble of an engine. Sound so smooth it sounded more like music than machinery. She opened the door and gasped. A Rolls-Royce Phantom, deep black with a golden hood, was parked in front of her building. Its door opened and out stepped Adam, wearing his signature black shirt and dark gray coat. He looked calm, but there was a fire behind his eyes. Sophia stepped out hesitantly. Adam, what is this? He smiled and held the door open. This is your ride today. Come on, we have a stop to make. She slid into the buttery leather seat, still dazed, and the car rolled forward like a gliding shadow through the city. The journey was quiet at first. Then Adam spoke. You were treated poorly. Not because you did anything wrong, but because of how you looked. That's unacceptable. I built my businesses with one rule. Respect everyone, whether they're buying or browsing. Sophia nodded, unsure of where this was going. Is this your dealership? She finally asked. Adam looked at her. Yes. In fact, I own Maxwell Motors. Her mouth dropped open. You never told me. I never felt the need. You're not with me because of the cars or the money. But now it matters, because someone in my company thought it was okay to treat you like you didn't belong. Sophia fell silent, the pieces falling into place. Adam had built an empire quietly, keeping his name away from most of the dealerships. It made sense now, the privacy, the discretion. As the car pulled into the Maxwell Motors parking lot, all eyes turned toward the Phantom. The staff inside the showroom froze when they saw Adam step out, followed by Sophia. Kyle, the senior salesman, went pale. The manager, a man named Richard, rushed forward with a forced smile. Good morning, sir. We weren't expecting. Adam raised a hand. You weren't expecting me, but you were expected to act with decency. Let's not pretend. He stepped inside, his voice echoing across the marble floor. Where's the footage from yesterday? A technician had already been told to cue it up. Within minutes, the large screen at the reception desk began playing the recorded scene. Sophia saw herself, small and hesitant, walking between the cars. She saw Kyle's face, heard his mocking voice again. She saw the woman smirking behind her tablet. It hurt to watch, but she stayed strong. The staff watched too, now shifting uncomfortably. When the video ended, Adam turned around. This is how you treat someone who walks in with interest? You assume their worth based on clothes? You mock them behind their back? His voice was calm but firm. You didn't just insult a woman. You insulted a client. You insulted my wife. The silence was deafening. Kyle's face drained of all color. Sir, I didn't know. That's the point, Adam said. You didn't know, and yet you judged. You disrespected someone who simply wanted to admire the cars. He turned to Richard. As of this moment, Kyle is terminated. So is any staff member involved in yesterday's incident. Richard began to protest, but Adam held up a hand. You're on notice too. One more failure like this, and I'll replace the entire management team. Understood? Yes, sir. Richard mumbled, sweating. Adam turned to Sophia and extended a hand. Would you like a tour, darling? She hesitated. Are you sure? He smiled. You belong here more than they do. Hand in hand, they walked through the, showroom. Now the staff opened doors, offered her drinks, answered her questions with the utmost respect. Sophia didn't need revenge, but she deserved dignity, and she got it that day. After the tour, Adam handed her a set of keys. One more thing, he said, guiding her to the very Bentley she'd admired the day before. This is yours. I had it reserved the moment you texted me last night. Sophia blinked. Adam, it's too much. No, he said gently. What happened to you was too much. This? This is just a car. A symbol of how far you've come and how far you'll go. Her eyes welled up as she hugged him, surrounded by luxury and respect. But more importantly, by love. Outside, bystanders had gathered. Someone had taken a photo of Sophia stepping out of the Rolls-Royce. By evening, it was viral online. Woman kicked out of dealership returns in billionaire husband's Rolls-Royce. The post spread with thousands of shares and comments praising her calm, Adam's loyalty, and their powerful message. Never judge a book by its cover. Sophia spent the evening quietly, sipping tea on her balcony as Adam worked beside her. She wasn't thinking of viral posts or headlines. She was thinking about how one moment of courage, to walk into a showroom, had triggered a change not just in her life, but in the lives of those who had witnessed it. She looked at Adam. Thank you. Not for the car, but for standing up, for me. He kissed her forehead. Always. And with that, the chapter of shame turned into one of strength. A quiet woman, wrongly judged, who found her voice not by shouting, but by rising.